Hey, good morning, everybody. It's your girl, Tanya Lady T, and this is another edition of All Aboard. Let's get on this train. Listen, y'all, I just want to say hey to everybody. I want to thank everybody for all your wonderful prayers and well wishes to me and my family as we are still continuing to grieve the loss of my father. I just want to say thank you. And I apologize if I wasn't able to respond back to everyone, but I thank you and I love each and every one of you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you, Kiana. Thank you, Yvette. I love you all. Thank you, Lisa, Miss Rowley. Just, my ride and die faithful, Miss Kitty. I just thank all of y'all. I really do for, praying for me. I have truly felt the prayers, even if you didn't audibly speak it, even if I came across your mind. I thank you, and I tell the Lord thank you, and I ask that He bless you continuously as we continuously soak up God's daily benefits. I just want to come on here and just go on and begin to talk about different things that I noticed and I experienced during after death, what the things that come up. I can't remember if I mentioned in my first video that I did a lot of helping my mother with a lot of paperwork, getting a lot of things just settled for her, so that she will be okay. There's a lot that goes into it, y'all. So it's important. I don't care what age you are. I think it's important that we all sit down as families or as brothers, sisters, whatever, and get certain affairs in order, especially when your parents or you yourself are at a certain age. But like, age is nothing but a number. But I think, I've talked about it before when the scripture said, let the dead bury the dead, meaning when you die here on this earth, have your affairs in order. Have your all your paperwork, all your desires of where you want this to go, who you want to be the executor, if you have an estate or financial, have all that stuff in order. And to me, that's the dead burying the dead. You're dead, but you made precautions during your lifetime so that your burial, your homegoing is taken care of. It's not left up, so to speak, financially to your family to figure all that out once you're gone, and put stuff in a place where people can tangibly get a hold of it, and they ain't got to go all the way around the moon backwards to their elbow to get to their thumb to get your information. So that just helps, because I'm telling you, for me, I don't care how saved we are and how much we love the Lord and how much we know where our loved ones are going, especially when they love the Lord. Let me tell y'all something. For those of you who do know, and for those who don't, when you lose a parent or anybody for that matter that was close to you, that you loved with a deep love, that grief so overtakes you. That grief so overtakes you that you don't know how you're going to act. And that's my segue into what I want to talk about is, death and the after effects, during and then after. And what I want to talk about real quickly this morning is, if you are a person and you don't handle death well, let's just say you don't like hospitals, you don't like seeing people lament or weep. If you're a person that you already know based on your experience, I don't care if I don't know what it is. It may make you uncomfortable. You don't know what to say to the person or the families or the whatever coworker. You don't know what to say to them because of this tremendous loss. Let me just tell you this. The best thing you can do if you don't know what to say, Don't say anything. Just be there. You know, sometimes we think we got to say something so prolific. And I get it, because you see someone you love hurting because of something that they have lost. I totally get that. But if you're a person and you're trying to search for what to say, look, the best thing you can say is, listen, I am heartbroken over your loss. But if there's anything you need me to do, rub your feet, bring your whopper, pick you up when all the family get in and it gets too overwhelming, and you just need somebody to ride you down the highway and boo-hoo your eyes out, and I ain't gonna open my mouth. I don't need to ask you no question, whatever. You know, that's why I appreciate Kiana. She reached out and said, you know, and for all of you all, when she said, you know, listen, here's my email address if you just want to email, get stuff out. I appreciate that, because see, a lot of times, again, we think we got to do all this talking to people to console them, but a lot of times when you're going through that type of grief, you just need somebody to listen to you. And like I said, I'm bringing this situation up because my daddy died in South Carolina while he was on vacation. Okay, so he was amongst friends, and my mother, of course, they do this every year. A bunch of older people. Let me tell you, my father didn't miss out on anything. Let me tell you, that man lived. You hear me, y'all? He lived, and he lived to the fullest. So he didn't miss anything. He really didn't. He had a full life. It's just health, his health just deteriorated over the last year. He went to the doctor, got checked out. He got the thumbs up to go to South Carolina to go on this vacation. Because the doctor said, listen, man, if you're feeling good, you live your life. You go ahead on and you go. So he went. So he was amongst friends. Okay, unfortunately, you know, he suffered a heart attack while he was down there. They got his pulse back up, giving us, the children and the grandchildren, the opportunity to go down there and see him. And you know, like I said, he expired down there. Okay, now, so what I brought all that up to say this. He was among friends, close friends. But sometimes even in that, your close friends don't even know what to do. So the doctor explained what happened, XYZ, so that the younger kids, the young adults and the grandchildren could understand what was going on with Grandpa. But there was an individual couple there. They knew my parents, they were close, but they were more so closer to my parents' best friends, who they go to vacation with every year. So again, when everything zeroed out, my daddy flatlined, the whole 9 yards, this gentleman that was there, he immediately, because my sister was there, I was there, like I said, my young nephews, you know, 18, 17, 18, 19, you know, we were there, and we began to lament, and I began to pray, and, you know, I was telling the Lord, thank you for giving me my father. So, you know, I was just in my own prayer. My mother was in prayer, and my mother had to console my younger sister, and because my sister, she just completely lost it. Now, she wasn't doing anything. She wasn't windmilling. She wasn't spinning around on her back like you just flapped a roach. She wasn't doing any of that. She wasn't doing anything to cause harm to other people, to the staff at the hospital. She wasn't doing any of that. She was just being. It overtook her. She was a daddy's girl, and she went for broke. She didn't holler all out. She just was lament, crying, a real sob. We all were. But this is what irritated me a little bit, and I thank God for people who have discernment that know how to stand in proxy. That's why you know, whenever they were trying to pray for, I forget where it is. I think it was in Acts. In the Bible, when, you know, they say, look, if you don't have no faith, get out the room, because we don't need folk around that don't have no faith. We're trying to pray for our loved one to be healed or whatever. And like I said, I apologize. Maybe I'll, you know, later on in the description box put the scripture in there. We don't need you in the room if you don't have any faith. And so that's what happened. Like I said, now we're lamenting as a family. They're somewhat bystanders. I'm talking about the friends. But we as a family, we're lamenting. We just lost a great man, a man who showed me what it's like to see. I mean, he was a man that showed me what it looked like to love a woman because he loved my mother. He was a man that showed me business stuff. So all this has overtaken me and my sister. And so the man comes and says, "Oh, well, y'all need to do better. Y'all need to just come on out the room. You're gonna make it worse standing here where he is." And I said, "Holy Spirit, help me today." Now I'm 44, and my sister's 39, and then you got the younger adults that were there, and immediately my mother's best friend's son, who is probably 51 years old, he immediately came and put his arm around me. And I just sobbed because I think he knew, man, you shouldn't have said that to this family. And that's what I'm saying. A lot of times, let people grieve. It may not look like how you want it to look like. It might make you uncomfortable. Now, he was worried about the hospital staff might come in there and say something about us crying. Let me tell you something. And I had an opportunity to say this to him just in conversation. Once we left, they cleaned my daddy up. We left the hospital and, we made arrangements to get him transported back to North Carolina, blah, blah, blah. Let people grieve like they want to grieve. If they're not, like I said, if they're not causing harm to you, they're not windmilling, they're not running around the room tearing up. No, if they're just sitting there wailing, weeping. Jesus wept when his friend Lazarus died. Now, do we know what that weeping that Jesus did, what it looked like? No, we didn't know what it looked like. But he was weeping a friend. Or was he weeping because they didn't believe that he could raise Lazarus from the dead, that he was just sleeping? Whatever the case may be, the scripture said Jesus wept. So you got to allow people to weep. It's not your place to tell them, "Oh, you need to come out of the room. Oh, y'all you're making it worse." And, in other words, he was trying to quench. He was trying to silence us. And I thank God for, like I said, my mother's best friend's son came over there and was like a proxy, was like a buffer. Because let me tell you, I was in a place where I didn't care. I was about to rebuke him. I really was. But see how the Lord will put people in place to check your spirit, so you don't make a situation that's already emotionally charged. So anyway, I thank God for him that he was there. But again, I'm saying all that to say this. Let people grieve their loved ones. Let people, again, it may not look like what you want it to look like. You might not be a person that will cry. You might be a person that will just sit in a corner and rock. Whatever the case may be. But for other people, let people grieve their loved ones. And like I said, we weren't doing anything. We weren't doing anything no more different than anybody else. Crying. And the other thing too, I explained and I stated, like after everybody, was a little bit better, we left out. But let me tell you something. Don't you know that people in ICU, which is where my father was when he expired, most ICU units have those glass enclosure doors. Don't you know that those people are this is what they do. This is how they make their living. Matter of fact, the staff up there joined us as far as because of the compassion. They were crying. Some of the nurses were crying. The doctor his attending physician came in, and after he explained, and as soon as he walked out the door, my father flatlined. He even shed a tear. This is what these people do. Don't you know that this is their profession? They're used to families being off the hook. They're used to families crying. They're used to all of that. So it's not a matter of you not wanting us to be loud because you don't want to upset the staff. Because when we were crying, they closed those doors so that we can have our moment, our last moments with our father or our loved one. They are used to that. So that's another thing that people need to understand. They are used to people lamenting. They are used to people weeping. They are used to people wailing. They're used to it. This is what they do. They see death every day. You think about on the shift of a doctor or the shift of a nurse, whatever her shift is, whether it be 10 hours, 12 hours. They could see death 4 to 5 times a day during their shift. So they're sensitive to that and they're sympathetic. But again, I just came on to talk about that aspect. When somebody's loved one dies, don't judge what you think their weeping should look like. Don't interject because you have become uncomfortable. Because here's my thing. This is how you respect the family. If you know that it's too much for you to handle, excuse yourself. Carry your go sit your hind parts out there in the waiting room. We understand that, you know. But some people feel like, oh, I got to be there because I don't want to look like I'm insensitive if I walk out. Listen, let me tell you something. Honestly, when you lose a loved one, you ain't studying nobody else. You're in your feelings. You're into your emotions. It's highly charged. At least it was for me. I could care less. So if you had walked out, this gentleman that made that statement, if you had walked out and sat down in the waiting room, I wouldn't look at you cross-eyed. I'm looking at you cross-eyed because in my time of grief and mourning, you're trying to judge or you're trying to orchestrate what my weeping should be for my father, a man that I've known more than I've only known you for a hot minute. And you trying to coach me on how I'm supposed to lament over my father? Man, please. You better go sit down. And I'm just being honest. And like I said, the only reason why I'm coming on here is because for those of you who are a little bit uncomfortable, and listen, own it. There's nothing wrong with it. Own it. And if it's something that you want to work on, if it's something that you want to better or whatever, ask the Lord to help you with that. Lord, I got a problem with being around people in death and lamenting and them crying. I have a problem. I have a problem going to funerals. Lord, help me with that because I do want to pay respects to my loved ones or my friends or whoever. If it's something that you want to be better about, go to the Lord in prayer. But don't sit up here and tell me and coach me. Oh no. Don't do that. And I'm telling you people, don't do that. Don't do that. And I'm sorry about the lighting. I got my camera positioned. But don't do that. Let people lament. Let them do. It's not gonna look like how you want it to look like. But my God, if you don't have nothing to say, shut your pie hole. Just shut up. But anyway, like I said, that's all I want to talk about. It's almost like the rules of engagement during death and after death. Be slow to speak, please, people. Think about what you're saying. You're already in an emotionally charged atmosphere. Just be sensitive of what you say. Be sensitive of what you do. And it's just like with my mother. My heart was so broken because My dad was her best friend. Oh, they were just best friends. And her best friend was gone. And my heart hurt for her because her friend is gone. Outside of it being my daddy and her husband, her friend is gone. And my heart was so broken. I was like my mother's shadow. I followed her everywhere around the house. And she understood that. It was an unspoken thing. And we would pack up some of his clothes. We would get rid of some. And she stopped for a minute and cried. I didn't mess with her. We both shared some tears, but we kept it moving. So again, lamenting, weeping, wailing. It may not look like how you want it to look like, and it may make you uncomfortable. But let people grieve their loved ones. And just be there for them. Less is more. You don't have to say so much. You don't have to say nothing other than, listen, I'm here. And that's it. Anyway, again, that's just one of the things I want to talk on. I know this is a long video, but I just think it's important that we are sensitive to one another during this time. But again, I love each and every one of you. May God bless you, and may the peace of the Lord be with you. This sun is bright. Oh, by the way, y'all, this, for all my divas, this is a statement necklace from Walmart. They've got all their statement necklaces. They've got them on sale now for $5. They're regular 10, and I'm telling you, they had some pretty ones, so y'all know I had to snatch it up. But anyway, again, God bless you, and may the peace of the Lord be with you. Bye.